ocean, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I fly the starry sea, leaning over the engine wonder, casting questions into the deep, lifting here with my ship's companions, all created with souls, making our way by the light of the heavens in our beautiful home. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe truth is larger than any one book or way. Religion and science, they go hand in hand. Integrity requires freedom of conscience. Diversity is something to celebrate. In the struggle for justice, we come alive. Our highest aspiration and calling is love. Whomever you love, wherever you are coming from, you are welcome here. Will West Shore's newest members come forward to help light our chalice this morning? Thank you. They are Janelle Armstrong, Jamie Barker, Maddie Barker, Betsy Ann Belmont Stewart, Brett Campbell, Seth Campbell, Patricia Shea, Christine Geary, Jay Harbeck, Ben Kindle, Marta Koltoff, Rosemary Kozak, Deborah Kuhn, Emily Martis, Bridget Moore, Laura Nemeth, Abby Rainieri, and Rafe Townsend. We are also inviting forward Matt Bonson, our new business administrator. There he is right there. He is right now learning the job from Debbie and will take over when Debbie retires at the end of June. Welcome, Matt. Matt is going to be the last person to receive the flame, and he's going to light our chalice this morning. You know, membership in West Shore, it's about building a solid spiritual foundation for oneself and for one's family and children. As a member, you join your light to that of our larger community in hope, in faith, and in love. And there it is. The light is spreading. Isn't that wonderful? I think it's wonderful. I don't know about you guys out there. Just as a flame is passed from candle to candle, so does enthusiasm pass from person to person until it reaches its mark, which is a community of hearts and minds growing in service and growing in joy. We're going to kindle our chalice today with that intention and in that hope. Teamwork. That's how we do things around here. Great.
Some of our new members bring their children into our community. I ask that all the children and youth of West Shore please rise. So where are our kids out there? Please stand up. All right, so kids, please continue to welcome people who are new here to the play, learning, and love of our community. If you will do this, say loud and clear, "We will." We will. Thank you.
And now will the members of the congregation please rise and respond with the words printed on the screen. We receive you with open hands and hearts as you join us. We once again renew our own commitment to this religious community. We are proud and happy to have you among us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, dear Christian. Congratulations. I hope it's a great journey for you guys. Thank you for becoming members of West Shore. I hope it's a lovely journey, spiritually satisfying. You get to know all these folks. They get to know you, growing deeper in your life. That's what I hope for you. That's what I hope for you. Thank you so much. Please be seated. Well, welcome to West Shore, folks. Best place to be in Cleveland on a Sunday morning, right? Absolutely. We got a lot going on. You got to check it out, your West Shore Weekly, in your order of service. So many things coming up, so many ways to get involved. I want to emphasize a couple things for you right now. One is next Saturday. You got to march with West Shore at our Cleveland Pride Parade, right? Come on out. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be offering glitter blessings. Anybody who wants them. Anybody. You too, if you want. Meet us at Public Square, 10 a.m. The march is just 1 mile, starts at 11 a.m. Visit West Shore's booth at the festival where we sell political buttons, pride bracelets, and distribute information about West Shore. Stop by the Queer and Allies table in the rotunda to sign up for the march or volunteer at the booth, or both. Another item is next Sunday after the service. It is a congregational conversation about our church's budget for next year, which the board has tentatively approved. We have some bright spots we want to tell you all about. We've also had to make some difficult choices, and we want to tell you about those as well. No surprises. We want you to be well informed. Come be a good citizen of this congregation and participate in our church democracy because we believe in democracy. My understanding is not everyone does. Am I correct in that? Unfortunately, but we believe in democracy. So come turn out and find out more about the budget. Now let me ask, if you are here for the first or second time and you do not mind people knowing it, raise your arm. Let us greet you. Welcome. Welcome, folks. Thanks for being here. And if you're here for the first and second time and you're an introvert and you don't want to do that, well, you are welcome too. I'm one of you. I'm a part of your tribe. So we're going to move into our greeting time. The greeting time will end with the sounding of the bowl. Our children, grades K through 5, are dismissed now to their class. Let's greet each other right now. Here we go. So we are in the middle of our annual pledge drive, and member Diane Alcorn is going to share a few of her thoughts. There she is right there. Show her some love. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Good morning, West Shore, and happy Pride Month. So my story with West Shore is a little unique. I'm now just one of a few people who hold two roles within this church. First, I'm a member, someone who receives so much from this loving community. And second, I'm the membership and engagement coordinator and on staff, where I do my best to give back, to help this congregation grow and to thrive. Holding both of these roles has given me a unique and deeply meaningful perspective, and today I'd like to share a bit of that with you. My spiritual journey, it may sound familiar to some of you. I was raised very Catholic, but I never felt quite at home in that identity. I stayed out of love and obligation, afraid to disappoint my parents and extended family. I was married in the church to a husband who wasn't interested in converting, which was completely fine with me. We baptized all 4 of our children there, but we were never regular attendees. We were what you would know as the C and E'ers, you know, the Christmas and Easter people. So it took a long time and a lot of soul searching through other denominations before I finally realized that traditional Christianity simply didn't fit for me. And I honor that journey because every step, every question, Every misfit feeling led me here, to West Shore. The first time I walked through those doors, I felt something shift. The warmth of the people here, the freedom to question, the messages of love and inclusion and justice. This was it. This was the church I had been searching for. This was my place. These were my people. My soul felt full. My heart felt at home. So for the past 13 years, I've been a part of this beloved community. And each year, my love for this place and its people has only deepened. I am a Unitarian Universalist. This place has nurtured my spiritual and personal growth. It's where I have found some of the most cherished friendships of my life. It's where I've been invited to explore, to connect, and most importantly, to question freely. 5 years ago, when the position of Membership and Engagement Coordinator opened up, something in me lit up. What a gift it would be to serve this community that has given me so much. And I feel incredibly grateful that I was offered the role. Today, I work alongside a staff of deeply dedicated, creative, and compassionate individuals with so many phenomenal volunteer leaders as well who pour their hearts into this congregation. We have so much here at West Shore, so much beauty, possibility, purpose, and the vision of what we can accomplish together as a faith community, it's limitless. But let's be honest. Let's be really honest. Vision alone isn't enough. It takes commitment, and yes, it takes resources to make it all happen. And that's why your pledge matters so much. When I joined in 2013, pledging was a requirement of membership, and to be honest, it made me a little uncomfortable. I wasn't familiar. So our first pledge that we did was modest. We had 2 kids in college and 2 more about to embark on college, so finances were tight. But as our financial obligations eased and our connection to West Shore deepened, our pledges grew. Every year when my husband and I sit down to discuss our pledge, we reflect on what this place means to us. And to me, West Shore is everything. It's a part of who I am. It's my family. It's home. How do you put a dollar value on something so meaningful? So we give what we can, and when we're able, we give more. And I'm so grateful to my husband for recognizing the profound role this community plays in my life, in our lives. As we near the end of this year's pledge drive, I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of those of you who have already submitted your pledge. And to those of you who maybe have not yet pledged, I encourage you to consider and do so. 2 weeks ago, Holly Thomas spoke to us about why pledging is so important. It's not just about the giving, it's about the planning. Your pledge tells us what's possible for the next year ahead. It helps us know what programs we can continue, what new opportunities, think of the opportunities we can offer, and how we can best serve the community spiritually, emotionally, communally. So thank you, West Shore, for being my home, for being my heart. The offering will now be taken and gratefully received.
Diane, that was beautiful. So well said, and I think it holds true for many of us. Thank you for sharing that. A poem, In Blackwater Woods by Mary Oliver. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds. And every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this. The fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let it go, to let it go.
The first time I ever thoughtfully considered that I had a relationship with my body was when I was 12. This is, of course, something more different, very different from a more casual or superficial sort of thing. Of course, I knew I had a body, but the depth of that knowing changed when I realized that my body had me. I was 12, and I was living in a dorm called Beatty Hall in Colorado Springs, Colorado. My family was 830 miles away in Texas. I was spending my 9th grade year as a part-time student who was in full-time training in a skating club called the Broadmoor, which was famous for the number of national and international skating champions it had churned out over the years. My family had hopes that I could turn out to be another one of those champions. One day I was relaxing in the common area of the dorm, and I was bored by the TV show nattering away in the background, which had all my other fellow skaters, their attention riveted. It was the soap opera General Hospital, with its saga of Luke and Laura. Luke and Laura, all the rage in 1980. But as I said, I was bored by it. So I found myself scanning the bookshelves, and I found one that piqued my interest. It was a biography of St. Francis of Assisi. I ate that book up. And looking back, I suppose this was an early sign of my call to ministry, my future hinted at. But the thing I read in the biography, which is particularly relevant to my topic today, is about how St. Francis came to call his body brother ass. At first, I did not understand. Brother ass? I laughed out loud. And it caught the attention of one of the skaters in the common room, who happened to be the Australian men's figure skating champion from 1979, who turned away from the TV set to me and asked what was so funny. I told him that St. Francis had used a cuss word. St. Francis, to describe his body. And he said, no. All that St. Francis meant was that his body was like a donkey. Ass means donkey. Oh. I read more and learned that St. Francis used it as a term of endearment. When he was a younger monk and more zealous, he saw his body as a source of all temptation and something to be beaten into submission. But things changed when he got older. His view softened, and he realized that his body was his singular and unique vehicle for experiencing the world. It deserved gratitude. It also deserved compassion, since it was vastly vulnerable to every sort of pain and malady. Gratitude and compassion, that I could understand. My body was very much my vehicle for figure skating, and I was very much grateful for the sheer delight I felt in moments when my skating technique clicked. My body and the laws of physics became one, and I could spin like a top in the air and land effortlessly. The sheer delight of it. I also knew about vulnerability. I had a coach who yelled at me all the time, and my body absorbed that stress into my muscles. My muscles would end up feeling like lead. It only made me more error-prone. I fell so many times while learning the axle jump, and that's when you jump forward and rotate 1.5 times in the air and then land. Up. Axel. I fell so many times while learning that jump that I developed bursitis in my right hip, which is the inflammation of a fluid-filled sac right on top of the hip bone. I limped. 12 years old. I limped when I walked. Felt sharp pain, intense pain. Only got worse at night. At around the same time, my Baba was in trouble. My family was dealing with something very serious. My Baba, my grandmother, was enduring. My Baba had terminal brain cancer. I will never forget the day I got the phone call from my mom. Baba was dead. I recovered from my bursitis, but I was also learning that there are some physical ailments you can't recover from. Sometimes brother ass gets better, and sometimes you have to find a way to make peace with your life knowing that brother ass is not going to get better. Either way, you are in constant relationship with your body. You have a body, and your body has you. Got it? You know, some of us believe that our souls are immortal and that there is an afterlife. Others believe that consciousness is only temporary and that after death, the only thing remaining is the impact of our deeds. But either way, whether your aliveness is immortal or temporary, its here and now quality is impacted in countless ways by what is happening with your body. And above all, brother ass has lessons to teach. When we think of spiritual teachers, what might come to mind are enlightened beings or sacred scriptures, the Buddha, and Carl Sagan. No Carl Sagan fans in this room? What the heck is happening? Well, there's the Bible, and then there's the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. All of those sources. But let us not forget our bodies. Right now, we are inviting into this sanctuary our bodies as spiritual teachers, as the teachers they are, especially by virtue of their vulnerability. Imagine, in fact, the image of the body that you see before you becoming a permanent addition to the world religion panels behind me, because it is very much worthy of that. Because, for one thing, the body teaches us humility. One of the signs of spiritual evolution is a clear recognition of the ever-present temptation to act like God, and the even clearer decision not to. Whenever we feel entitled to the world bowing down to our will, then we have fallen into that temptation. Whenever we insist that things must dance precisely to our tune and proceed exactly to our satisfaction, well, we've made ourselves into something divine, haven't we? Imagine atheists whose controlling attitudes and behaviors make them act just like the God that they don't even believe in. Of course, that's true of all of us. It's not just atheists, it's everyone. And then a physical injury happens. At least my hip bursitis when I was 12 was meaningfully related to trying to learn something. You know, so often the cause is sheer accident, isn't it? Sheer accident. You slip on the ice in winter and you break an arm. Your car is rear-ended and you end up with whiplash. You drop a glass bottle of juice as you're walking up cement stairs, and you try catching it just like a ninja as it bounces, right? Snatch the pebble out of my hand, grasshopper, right? But you know, glass bottles, they don't bounce on cement, they shatter. That happened to me. I will show you the scar if you like. Right there. A large shard severed the webbing between my right thumb and forefinger. And because I was really planning on seeing a movie that night, I was in denial about how bad it was, and then I almost fainted from loss of blood. So my ex-wife, she took me straight to the ER. 6 hours later, right hand sewn up, bandaged. I returned home. Guess what? No movie. No movie. I was in seminary at the time. For 6 weeks, this right-hander was engaged in a crash course of learning how to write left-handed. It's just what I had to do. Accidents force you into awkward detours from your best laid plans. And despite the disappointment, you've got to go into those detours. You've got to give the healing process all the time it needs, because if you don't, pain is going to give you instant feedback. Pain now, ooh, or pain later. As someone who is learning to live with long COVID says, one must trade resistance for rhythm. You're learning patience the hard way if you're typically impatient. But you're also learning you're not God, you're only human. Maybe it's even accompanied by a self-deprecating sense of humor. Isn't that what makes slapstick comedy so funny? As when an egocentric person's chair is pulled out from underneath them and they discover that they are not nearly as fancy as they thought they were, exactly when their butt hits the ground. To be human is to be vulnerable. To be vulnerable is to be human. Therefore, we must be kind. We must learn kindness towards Brother Ass and not be unfeeling or harsh. That's a second kind of spiritual lesson our bodies teach us. Consider how people hold stress in their bodies. It could be caused by a figure skating coach yelling at you, as I experienced when I was 12, or maybe someone else is yelling at you. You're driving, someone honks a horn at you. Maybe you do it to them. Or say you're scrolling social media and it's doom and gloom. One thing after another. The world is on fire. You don't know what to do. Stress. Then again, it could be a desk job if you happen to have that. The pile of things that you got to accomplish. You got never enough time. You sit rigidly in your chair, facing your computer screen, relentlessly working, while the tension builds in your neck and back and shoulders. Only builds and builds and builds. All kinds of stress and challenges. But one of the worst is waiting for test results. Now, can I hear an amen for that? Isn't that one of the worst? Waiting for test results? Oh, God, what will the blood test reveal? How about that biopsy? The CT scan, the MRI? Maybe everything's going to be okay, but that won't necessarily stop you from imagining the worst. Stress fills the body with lead-like heaviness, squeezes your blood vessels tight. Your heart has to pump your blood harder. And you know, when this becomes chronic, when it becomes a chronic condition, it causes major problems in your body. So it is sheer kindness to find ways to soften the tension. Maybe you won't be able to banish it 100%, but can you give yourself moments of reprieve? Can you do that? Can you give yourself a moment or two of peace? I want you to take a moment with me right now. Just stay seated right where you are. Take a big breath in and let it out. You know, I like to go to a yoga class Sunday afternoons, and they really encourage you to stick your tongue out and go, ah! There is this one person who always comes to this yoga class I go to, and he is an overachiever, I swear to God. If everyone's going like, ah, he's like, ah! It's right? You know this guy. It's hilarious. I'm inviting you to be an overachiever right now. So take a big breath in, and then go, ah! God, you overachievers. Yeah, just let that stress out. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself a moment of peace. How about this one? Have you ever done this one? Shoulder rolls. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears and roll them back down. Whoo! Right? The advanced technique is reverse it. Back, up, and then forward. Ooh. Good job, guys. You didn't know you were going to be doing calisthenics coming to worship this morning, right? You know, even more kindness is needed in the face of aging. If you're older, do you remember a time when you went to the doctor just once a year? If you're younger, you'll find out. You'll find out. It's fine. But now it's all the time. It's all the time. The 75-year-old comedian Andy Huggins likes to say, as far as my social media is concerned, you can follow me on my chart. Right? Yeah. Furthermore, it used to be that if something hurt, you could get it fixed. Now, some things just can't be fixed. It's hard if that's true for you, and it's hard to see that in people you love. Maybe you are young, and you're seeing people who are older you love, and that's hard too, struggling physically. From Buddhism comes the blunt acknowledgement of the human condition entitled The Five Remembrances. And the very first one states, I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. Accepting this, we must find a way to learn kindness towards our aging bodies or those of others, and learn new ways of being with them as they are. When I'm at the rink figure skating, I am surrounded by children and teenagers whose energy I wish I could bottle. Right, Rachel? That's my ice dance partner and girlfriend. So there I am, 58 years old. And I know I'm still a youngster to some of you. Even so, the so-called youngster, this one, the one that I am, has had to learn to make peace with how my gas tank is never more than 3/4 full. Never is. When I'm on the ice, I meet my fatigue every time. I carry brother ass out there with me. But I have learned, as a point of kindness to myself, that it does not have to be all or nothing. I can feel fatigue, and yet I can still get out there and skate. I can feel tired, and yet trust that I've got more energy reserves than I might think. I refuse to give up something that brings such pleasure to me because I have succumbed to the stereotype that old people can't do stuff anymore. I am going to live as much as I can until that moment, that exact moment when I die, and I'm not going to die before my death. I'm not going to do that. Will you join me in that? Right? I'm not going to die before I actually die. Does that make sense? Now, let me also say that whether it is physical stress we are talking about, or aging, or seasonal allergies, I'm struggling with that right now. Right? You probably can tell that my voice isn't where it normally is. Seasonal allergies, or any other kind of infirmity or illness, when we are paying attention to our personal experience of that, it's kind of like a wake-up call. And wake-up calls are the third kind of lesson Brother Ass teaches. At the very least, we are woken up in compassion to the struggles and pains of others. We are more likely to be patient and kind with them. It doesn't matter whether your own physical infirmities match up exactly to those of others. My hip replacement surgeries have woken me up to the knee replacement surgery that member Pam Smith is facing. Did she have her surgery yet, Tom? Yeah. How's she doing? Okay. Or the broken leg that Don Bellinger is currently healing from. And on and on. We are woken up to this different side of being in community with each other. I actually went to visit Don the other day, and we both discussed yet another way in which physical infirmity wakes you up. You are woken up to a greater appreciation, right, of what you used to have before and took for granted. Just being able to walk, just being able to get around on your own. Do some of you remember me like preaching sermons and I had to sit down because I just was recovering from my hip? I mean, oh my God, to be able to jump around like I'm doing, wow. I appreciate it much more now. You're also woken up to the everyday reality of folks who live with some form of disability all the time. How the world's architecture is not very accommodating to people in wheelchairs, or people who are sight disabled, or those who experience disability in any number of other ways. If you're able to return to abledness, you're way more grateful, and you are more sensitive to the needs of people who are disabled, more willing to advocate on their behalf. And then there's the wake-up calls, which seem almost mystical in nature, right? You experience some kind of physical collapse, of some sort or fashion that, seen in retrospect, seems to be a highly intentional message from the universe to slow down. You got to revise your priorities. You got to go in quest of higher purposes. Wake-up calls from the universe. Through some breakdown in your body, the universe is getting your attention. God is speaking to you through brother ass. God. All these wake-up calls. And then there's a fourth and last kind of lesson I want to describe today. It's about the nature of healing. How a person can find healing even when there is no cure. Remember my Baba with her terminal cancer? Remember? Then there's chronic illnesses of all kinds. Long COVID, Parkinson's, diabetes, fibromyalgia, Alzheimer's. Illnesses that are not like a cold, and they are not like gallstones. They're not like a broken leg, in that they, chronic illnesses, are with you forever. They will change your life. The very thought of it can be overwhelming and can send anyone into resentment and despair. When there's no cure, the goal of healing can seem truly impossible. However, I want to share an observation from Rachel Naomi Remen, a medical doctor who specializes in the care of people with life-threatening illnesses. She has noticed something quite surprising. How folks who are perfectly healthy, who might be out there jogging and they're eating all the right foods, and in other ways they're perfect models of fitness, how these folks can sometimes be the most boring folks of all. I'm not sure how that landed. You guys look confused or something. They can be some of the most boring folks of all. By contrast, she says, people who are not very physically healthy, they can seem very healthy, very alive. I wonder if you've noticed something like that. Ultimately, the point is that incurable illness can be an unlikely doorway to greater aliveness. It challenges us to get clear about the hope and the purpose that gets us out of bed every morning. Incurable illnesses push us to shift the direction of our life orientation to that of inside out. Now, the reverse, outside in, is when one's physical condition determines how one's spirit will be. So if your body is ill, then your spirit has got to fall in line and be ill as well. But life from the inside out, that is a sheer triumph. It means that even when a physical illness like chronic illness or cancer or something else persists, there can still be a healing of the heart. Fearlessness can replace fear. There can be gratitude for the gifts of life, even if life is proving itself to be stubbornly imperfect. There can be a forgiveness of self, of others, of the universe. Infirmities without a cure become spiritual teachers that open our eyes to far more than what we thought possible. It doesn't mean we stop feeling fear. It doesn't mean we never feel sad. It does mean that we show up to life every day no matter what. One wisdom teacher says that all spiritual paths have 4 steps. Show up. Pay attention, tell the truth, and don't be attached to the results. We just keep showing up. That's what we do. Because I was so young, I never really talked with Baba about her terminal cancer. I never knew how to ask, how she saw herself, what she was going through. Had she fallen into the perspective of, I don't just have cancer, cancer has me? Did she fall into that? Or was she like others who refuse this perspective? They have that inside-out orientation. They refuse to allow cancer to swallow up all of who they are. People who realize that even if their bodies have cancer, their minds and spirits do not. Though they might be sick physically, spiritually they are free. During my visits with Baba before she died, I do remember moments in her basement, which is where the TV lived. There, where the 1970s shag rug was like uncut bluegrass. We'd watch the evening lineup of shows. Back then it was Charlie's Angels, Laverne and Shirley, The Love Boat. Since it was typically right before bedtime, I'd be in my jammies and Baba would be wearing a shapeless muumuu. You're probably not going to hear that word for a while. Muumuu. Her face shone with moisturizer. I think it was oil of Olay. She'd laugh along with me at the funnier TV scenes, but she'd really come alive when it was time for Lawrence Welk. When he would say his catchphrase, "Wonderful, wonderful," and she'd always smile. But it was tiny bubbles that made her sing along. Tiny bubbles in the wine make me happy, make me feel fine. So here's to the golden moon, and here's to the silver sea, and mostly here's a toast to you and me. Tiny bubbles in the wine make me happy, make me feel fine. She'd sing right along, and I'd sing with her. And in these moments, her cancer seemed completely forgotten. I actually think she had a crush on the king of champagne music. I think she had a crush, and she did not let cancer take that away from her. For human beings having a spiritual experience, the cancer journey must involve far more than simply excising a tumor or treating a malignancy with radiation or injecting chemotherapy into a vein. The journey involves far more than that. I will never know the path that my Baba took through the wilderness of cancer, but I will always remember her with that shining oil of Olay face, singing about the golden moon and the silver sea and the toast to you and me. Whatever wilderness of illness you may be going through, whether curable or not, whether yours or that of a loved one's, today we are honoring this leg of your spiritual journey. We are honoring the challenges you are facing and the lessons you are learning. We are lifting you up in love and in healing. From St. Francis all the way to me and you, Brother Ass is teaching us. So you are now invited to participate in a special healing ritual. You will come up like you normally do for all that is our lives ritual through this middle row. On the table, you see two baskets. In one basket, you see a red heart. Pick out a red heart to symbolize a hurt that you have and you want healing for it. okay? And then you'll see some pink hearts. Pick up one pink heart. That is a way for you to ask a physical blessing for someone you love who is hurting. I've already put mine up. This is for me. This is my stupid seasonal allergies. And I put this one here for someone, for Rachel, because I just want a blessing for all of her, right? So that I put it right there. So come to the body image with your heart, okay? Place your stickers where you want the healing energy to go. I hope that so many folks are going to come up. You're just going to have to put your sticker on top of other stickers. It's fine. And again, if you don't know where you want that healing energy to go for yourself or for a loved one, just place the heart anywhere you want to. There is no right or wrong here. Now, to preserve privacy, to ensure anonymity, I'm going to turn this image right around. Please do that right now. So you can place your heart wherever you want to, and you don't have to worry about being looked at. Does that make sense? Okay. So one at a time, you'll come over here, come around here, place your heart, and then you'll return to your seat. On the way back, maybe you want to hug or share a few words, and I've asked Reverend Shirley and Judy and Lynn, and I'll be here as well. So you let us know what you need if you need something, because we love you, and we're all in this thing together. So now, as you feel comfortable doing so, you are invited to come forward. folks, just very quickly, you know how it is that the most exciting part of a sporting event is like overtime? This is overtime for this service, so thank you for your patience. I know we're running a little long, but it's overtime. Thank you. Moment, would you take this moment and place your hand on the shoulder of a person beside you so that we are all physically connected in a spirit of oneness. We are all in this together. Here revealed is the body of this congregation. Here is the visible sign of all our yearnings to be blessed and to bless another. Let us find strength in the unity of this congregation, and more than this, the larger communion of all throughout human history who have lived through sickness and health, brokenness and healing, stress and aging, and ultimately death. May our ancestors be with us in this moment. May my Baba be with us right here. And your loved ones right here. These people who went before us, and they have felt and known it all. Let their strength be ours. Let their resilience be ours. May they inspire us to show up to our lives every day and never to die before our death. We are also calling upon all the divine names. Spirit of life, God and Goddess, Holy One, heal us. Strengthen us. Restore us. And if it is not our destiny to be restored or cured, let there be a healing of our fears, our grief, our anger, our resentment. Let this be a time of spiritual renewal. Let this be a time of searching for and finding the meaning of our days. Beloved ancestors, Spirit of life, God and Goddess, Holy One, this is our prayer this day. Let us now all say together, Amen. Amen. Let's extinguish our chalice now. We extinguish this flame. Let's see the words, please. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry with us until we meet again.